In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, hello to all dear friends. Today, I want to talk in this video about a research tool based on artificial intelligence, which is a useful tool and can assist friends in their research and studies. But an important point that I should mention right at the beginning of the video is that this artificial intelligence tool is free. However, the key point is that the institution where you are studying must not have a contract with Scopus or access to the Scopus page. In fact, institutions must have paid Elsevier the required fee in order to be able to access this page. First, we'll give you a brief and comprehensive introduction to this valuable tool, and then, God willing, we'll proceed to do a live example together, meticulously searching with this tool to observe how it effectively works and how we can optimally utilize it for thorough research and in-depth study. So here is actually the main central page of the Scopus website. If you search for scopus.com, you will undoubtedly come across this particular page. And as I mentioned, you need to make sure that you access this website from within the university. If you want to connect from outside the university, you must use your university or research institute's VPN. Otherwise, this page won't load for you and it will ask you to subscribe before you can enter the page. Well, as you can see here, a new option has been added in this section. On the right side, it says Scopus AI, and you can click on this section and type in your research topic here to search about it. Let's go to the next slide. I typed in a topic of my choice here. How can we determine the shape and size of rock joints in a rock sample? It has provided me with a summary here. And the really good thing about it is that it gathers information from real references and lists those references here in this section. If you click on this option, you can go and see the references and you can refer to the original source and study it yourself. If we scroll down and the summary it has provided doesn't satisfy you, you can ask it to give you a more detailed and comprehensive summary with additional explanations. If you click on this section, it expands the discussion a bit with more explanations. And again, it uses the same references. Here, it has listed for us the main measurement methods, how to measure the shape of fractures and their size, as well as the challenges ahead and the new and advanced methods that have recently emerged for this purpose. And a very interesting point that this tool provides us is that it draws a conceptual diagram of this research for us. It creates a concept map like this. Of course, since it's an AI tool, we shouldn't rely on it too much. However, it gives us a very good perspective. You see, the answer it has given for the concept map of this topic is neither completely correct nor totally off base and wrong. Rather, it's actually an intermediate answer, saying that, well, measurement methods are divided into two categories, direct and indirect. Indirect methods are carried out in the laboratory or in the field, either directly or indirectly, using geophysical techniques or image processing. And as you can see from the other explanations, it has pointed out some correct points, but its answer can also have flaws. And it's better for you to use this tool just to get a general overview of the research topic, and you shouldn't rely too much on its answers or directly use its images in your article or thesis. Let's continue. This section asks whether it was useful or not. And if you scroll down further, in this section it also brings up topic experts. That is, it lists the names of people who have conducted more research and have greater expertise in this topic of interest to you based on the articles they have published. And at the end, it says, if you want to delve deeper into this discussion, you can ask another question. It also suggests several related questions here, which are actually drawn from those same reference articles. It has provided its own conclusion here so that you can become more deeply familiar with the topic. But one point I should mention at the end is that some institutions actually do not purchase this option from Elsevier, or they intentionally choose not to have this option displayed at their university so that their students or faculty do not use this tool for research and study. This goes back to the university's policy. You need to check with your institution, and all you have to do is, when you access this website through your university, check this page. If you see this AI tool, you can easily use it. But if you don't see it, don't worry, there's still a solution and you can use it indirectly. So As you can see, the institution I'm at has disabled this tool. It's not showing it to me, and now I actually want to access it. What you need to do, if this tool is also disabled for you, is to go to the browser's address bar where you open the main page of this website and look at the part after the hash. You'll see it says basic. Go ahead and edit this and enter Scopus-AI. If you type this phrase and press enter, you'll see that this section becomes active for you and you can continue from there. Now in this section, enter your research question and continue with the process. Now let's go ahead and pick a topic live. All right, I've opened this page. As you can see, it's disabled for me, so I'll go to this section and type in that phrase. Let me type it. And you can see that the tool is now enabled for me. Although the option hasn't appeared here, I do have the tool here, so I'll go ahead and enter my topic. We then proceed to hit the search button so that the powerful tool comes up and subsequently creates a comprehensive summary for us regarding this particular topic. An important point you should keep in mind is that the source for this search is only the database within Scopus itself. It doesn't read all articles from other databases. Rather, it only uses the papers it has in its own database to generate this summary for us. Well, as you can see, it has generated a summary for us on this topic, and in this section we can also see its articles. If you simply click, you can easily go through them one by one, meticulously find the specific article pages, and you can also conveniently search here using their unique DOIs, which are digital object identifiers. The full article, and you can access the full article in this way. All right, let's go back and scroll down. Extended summary. Or we can ask it to generate a detailed summary for us with more explanations. In fact, it has explained the benefits of using this technology in geotechnics for us. So let's scroll down further. Let's not take up more of your valuable time. I'm really interested in this concept map section. Let's go and see what it has created for us. As you can see, it's presented it very nicely. In fact, it has categorized this topic and shown its various branches here, but as I mentioned before, we shouldn't trust it too much. However, you can certainly get a really good and comprehensive idea from it to significantly help you in the process of creating your very own robust research framework and developing deep topic expertise. It also lists people who have worked a lot in this area, and this section has just been added. I hadn't seen it before. I don't know what emerging themes is, and we should definitely evaluate it. Now, when you get the chance, you can try it out and see how it works. I sincerely hope that your esteemed institutions actually have full access to this comprehensive database, so you can effectively utilize this incredibly useful tool in all your important research and academic studies. Now let's click on one of its suggested questions and see what the result is. It then proceeds based on the specific question we asked about the main challenges of effectively using this technology in this particular field to provide us with a comprehensive summary of these issues. Again, in precisely the same way, we can easily expand it and take a closer look. We can readily expand it or view its detailed concept map, and so on. Thank you for staying with me up to this point. Once again, I want to emphasize that we shouldn't place too much trust in the results and outcomes this tool provides us. It can only give us a general overview. It can introduce us to some useful references, but it's definitely better for us to consult them directly ourselves, check the sources it has used, and actually take the material from the original article to use in our research. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye and take care.